Well, it was a rough week for the Biden family again, and a lot of people are starting to question, are they compromised? Are they a threat to our national security? Well, it seems a bit over the top, but let's take a look. This little week in review. And that would begin with Joe Biden accidentally reads the teleprompter instructions out loud during remarks on abortion. And we'll roll this clip.
It is noteworthy that the percentage of women who register to vote and cast a ballot is consistently higher than the percentage of the men who do so. End of quote. Repeat the line. Women are not without electoral and or political or maybe precise, not and or political power.
So it's pretty bad that you can't even read the teleprompter. You're the president. You're supposed to be the most, basically powerful man on the planet, the leader of the free world, and you can't do your basic job. And there's been dozens of examples like this in the last couple of years, and there's going to be dozens more. It's only going to get worse. So I don't know how long people are going to continue to pretend that this is not a problem. And then, of course, we get to his son, and here we go. We have a couple of the British tabloids have popped this out because you're not going to see this from the United States mainstream media. Are going to try to ignore this until they're absolutely forced to cover it. But we've seen Hunter Biden now filmed himself taking drugs and drinking White Claw during a detox after his dad gave him $75,000 as a handout. And, I'm not judging, and he looks, this looks very relaxing experience. Having fun. I've been in one of those tanks before, but not smoking crack. But again, not judging it. But I'm just curious, when are people going to acknowledge some of this? Because it gets really tiresome watching the media just kind of dance around this issue and not cover it as though it's out of sight, out of mind. But it is. It's glaringly obvious by now. And you guys can bitch all you want about Trump and January 6th, this and that, but the leader of the free world has got dementia and his son is a crackhead. When are you going to talk about that? I mean, again, he looks like he's having a good time. Again, I'm not judging what he's going through and his addiction and his rehab and all of that stuff, but it seems to be a potential problem of the Biden family being compromised. And so this could be seen as a national security threat. We've only seen a fraction of what is on Hunter's hard drive because he's been recording all kinds of stuff and he's really, a degenerate. And it's also hypocrisy because, people have pointed out, if this was Don Jr., there would be nonstop media coverage 24/7. But when we get this big juicy clip here of a crackhead son of the president, and the complete silence. So it's this is a serious problem going forward, and I don't know how much longer we're going to continue this, and what else is going to happen. This is clearly potential blackmail on the son, and so is that affecting our foreign policy decisions? And it seems that it certainly has. And here we have it. I mean, they impeached Donald Trump over having a phone call with Zelensky about Ukraine and about what was going on with Burisma, Hunter Biden being on the board, and Joe Biden having the prosecutor fired. for investigating into his son, and they withheld $1 billion in aid. It was so obvious. What is going on here? Let's roll this clip.
I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I looked, I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a bitch. Got fired. And they put in place someone who was solid at the time.
Well, I mean, it's just breathtaking in your face, the level of corruption that is going on, and so many people in the media continue to ignore this and continue to just, go after Trump. Oh my God, he had a phone call with Zelensky asking about what, the blatant corruption going on. So here we have father and son. And there's so many pictures of this with Hunter and all of his problems. It's a big mess with the Biden family. And that's not even going into the really dark stuff with Ashley. So this is not somebody that should be running the country right now. And yet the media will do anything possible to keep him in. It appears that he's an obvious puppet, and there's tons of blackmail and corruption, and Joe is not cognitively with it enough to make capable decisions. Most people don't believe that he's actually running the country right now. So the question is, who is? If you get him off the teleprompter, he's completely useless. He's no idea what he's talking about. He stumbles over everything.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping.
Years ago, it was just gaffes. Now it's just, wow, this guy's got like obvious dementia in our face, and this is a problem, and this can't continue. The problem is you've got weak people behind him. Kamala is clearly not qualified, not ready to step in, and then you've got Nancy Pelosi as the number 3. What is she going to be, the vice? I mean, maybe she was capable in the 90s, but she's totally corrupt and cartoonish, and it's past her due date. It's time for her to take a step down. So we've got a serious crisis right now in the executive branch. Let's face it, Joe is not competent, and we all know it. And no matter what, you can't just sit here and say, oh, this is just Russian disinformation. No, you've already played that card. It doesn't work anymore. Stop ignoring the obvious. Again, you can bitch about Trump all you want. Hell, you could even lock him up. It's not going to change the fact that Joe Biden has got dementia and his son is a crackhead.
No, I just laid out the bag. It's 2.06.
2.07 without the bag.
Don't ignore it. Don't defend it. Don't say, oh, who cares about what they're up to? I don't care what's on Hunter's laptop. Well, then there's no reason for me to take you seriously on anything you say about anything, because it's not even good faith. I'm going to target the January 6th protesters and keep going after Donald Trump. Meanwhile, son smoking crack, and Biden can't complete a sentence without a teleprompter. So it's over. Just stop the denial. Stop the delusion. Stop this fucking madness. If you continue to ignore these stories, you're either a paid hack, a flack, a lackey, a useful idiot, or a mindless cult follower. Period.
If you have a piece of crack cocaine no bigger than this quarter that I'm holding in my hand, 1/4 of $1, we passed a law through the leadership of Senator Thurmond and myself and others, a law that says if you're caught with that, you go to jail for 5 years. You get no probation. You get nothing other than 5 years in jail. We have an obligation to cordon them off from the rest of society. They are in jail, away from my mother, your husband, our families.